Governor Childs. When I arrived in Tampa this morning, I was greeted by the St. Petersburg Times, a column which stated the following: both candidates have proved in the past couple of weeks to be unscrupulous campaigners who have fibbed and pandered their way across the television screen, each throwing mud. Let's see if we can't clean some of that up tonight. Let me begin with Mr. Bush. Mr. Bush, you are airing a commercial critical of Mr. Childs featuring the mother of a dead little girl, saying, quote, "Her killer is still on death row and we're waiting for justice. We won't get it from Lawton Childs because he's liberal on crime," and it goes on, "Jeb Bush will enforce the death penalty, Lawton Childs won't." Later, you acknowledged that Governor Childs had in fact executed 8 criminals, and in this particular case, you said that he has not been presented the opportunity to accelerate the process on this guy. Why do you continue to air the commercial, which is by your own admission misleading?
Well, first of all, the commercial is no longer being aired. It isn't because it completed. I would have kept it on for longer, but it was on for about a week, and that was enough for it to stay on. Wendy Nelson is a friend of mine and someone who I respect for her courage, for her forthrightness. The fact is that she's an expert on crime. She's an expert on the victimization that exists in crime. She's also an expert on the death penalty process. She has been in Washington testifying to Congress about habeas corpus reform there and in this state. Governor Childs could have done something about this extremely long process we have of the death penalty. He could have begun the process to advocate reforms to streamline the process. The only reform he's made is codified something that is in existence already because of the death warrants that Bob Martinez and Bob Graham signed. I believe that it was appropriate because the symbol of crime needs to have a human face on it, Tim. This is not a problem of statistics. This is a problem of pain and suffering. Over 1 million people each year have crimes committed on them that are recorded. That does not include the other thousands upon thousands of crimes that occur that go unreported. This is the most pressing problem we face. I'm not attacking Governor Childs' character. I do believe he has been a liberal on crime and soft on crime. He has not built the prison system we need to make sure that prisoners serve their time. He has not advocated reforms in our death penalty. And today, there are people on death row because he has not signed death warrants where the process has been delayed. I have here, when we did a little investigation, I have 10 of those names right here, and I'll submit those to the press tonight. Should you like to see how, if he did sign death warrants, we could accelerate the process and make it work more efficiently.
Mr. Childs?
Thank you. All my political life, I have supported the death penalty. As governor of Florida, I have exercised my powers in executing 8 convicted killers. I hold the phone as they walk into the death chamber. I give the last command before they pull the switch on the electric chair. During my administration, we have had the same number of executions as we did in the Martinez administration and under the administration of Bob Graham. You put on this ad, Jeb, you knew it was false. You even admitted it was false. I'm very, very distressed that you would slander my reputation by putting on a false ad. And in addition to that, I'm ashamed that you would use the agony of a mother and the loss of her daughter in an ad like this. It's demagoguery, pure and simple. Every paper in the state has looked at that ad. Every one of them have said it is a new low. Your father had the record in the Willie Horton ad, but you've outdone that now. And Jeb, I'll tell you how long you ran that ad. You ran that ad till your polls started telling you you were taking a beating on it, and you still are taking a beating on it. It was a mistake. You shouldn't have done it.
Mr. Childs, I want to ask a follow-up and then give Mr. Bush a chance to respond.